All right, so let's make sure you've got complete and square down here. So I've got two more examples here. Um, remember your first step here is to go ahead and get the C term there over on the right hand side. Bx plus c equals 0. So we want to get this c term, which in this case is 2, over on the right hand side. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. I get x squared plus 4x equals negative 2. The next step here, so get your constant on one side, and then your next step here, if it's already there, then you don't have to do that step, but then the next step is to go ahead and take b divided by 2 and square it and add to both sides. So my b value is this middle term right here, this 4 here. So I have to go ahead and take 4, I'm going to divide it by 2 and square it and add to both sides. I'm going to take my b, which is 4, divided by 2 and square it. So 4 divided by 2, there's 2, and squared I get 4. So really I'm adding 4 to both sides. So let me write that step out. There. So now what I want to do is I want to factor the left-hand side, and then I want to go ahead and clean up there the right-hand side. So the first thing we did was, I'll write the steps out here. Get C on right side. Second step, add B divided by 2 squared to both sides. Third step here, factor left. And simplify right. All right, let's do that. Now we're down to this. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to factor it, x and x. What times what gives us 4 and adds to give us 4? 2 and 2. I'm going to simplify the right-hand side so I get 2. Now I'm going to put the left-hand side there together. So it's a squared term there. Make left side a single squared term. Because I've got x plus 2 there being squared, or x plus 2 times x plus 2, I can say x plus 2 squared equals 2. And then I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So doing that, so I get x plus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 2. And if I can clean up the right-hand side and actually find the square root of that number, and it comes out to be a nice whole number, then I can stop there. Well, I can clean that side up. But in this case, I just get the square root of 2, and I'm not going to go ahead and write the decimal out there. I want the exact answer if I possibly can get it. And now I just have to get right, left. I want to get to the left-hand side, so it just says x equals, or else I just solve for x. So to do that, I have to subtract 2 from both sides, and I'm getting x equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2. And I like to put my negative 2 here in the front. You could have also written this instead of. You could have said plus or minus square root of 2 minus 2. And just when we write our quadratic stuff out, or when we use a quadratic formula, you always have that b value there in front. Remember, it's opposite of b, plus or minus the square root of something. So I always put the negative 2 out there so it looks like those answers. So there's our answers there for part C. So you got one final one here. Let's come down here and let's look at part D here. So I'm going to scoot this down a little bit here. This time the C is already on the right hand side, so I can skip step 1. Step 2, we're going to add b divided by 2 to both sides. My b value here is negative 2, and I'm going to add it to both sides. So b divided by 2 squared b divided by 2 squared. So I can do that. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1 squared. I get 1. Over here, I also get 1. So now I'm going to simply factor the left-hand side here. I get x and x. Two numbers that multiply to give us 1 and add to give us negative 2. That would be a negative 1 and a negative 1. So I've now factored the left side and I simplified the right side. So now I'm going to make the left side a single squared term. So there's 2x minus 1s. So I wrote that as a single squared term. And then I'm going to take the square root of both sides. That's step number 5 there. Put a plus or minus out here. So taking the square root of a squared term, I just get what's underneath there, which is x minus 1. And then I'm going to add 1 to both sides, so now I'm solving for x. So I'm on the last step here. So I end up getting x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 6. So I have completely solved for x there. So be prepared to do some of these in class tomorrow, working with completing the square. All right, good job.